So what kind of led you into engineering? Why did you choose that field at Iowa State? Because it sounds like you obviously you mentioned a minute ago about architecture right away.
Yep.
What kind of led you into engineering?
It's actually kind of a funny story because I took a class in high school with Mr. Dalton going through Revit, and
Yep.
I really, really, really loved that.
Hmm.
And honestly, I had no idea that, engineering, you did all of that. I thought it was architecture.
Mm-hmm.
But really, it's both. Both engineers and architects do similar things. It's just architects are more aesthetic, looking at the actual building itself and not necessarily the structure and all of that goes into the building. So I kind of chose architecture based off of that. And I just figured design just wasn't my thing. I'm more of a numbers person, calculations type. And so that's kind of what led me to engineering was I wanted the design, but more of the calculation design, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So that's kind of what led me to engineering. And it is kind of funny because when I was in high school, I always told myself I could never be an engineer. And then I was like, I'm just going to give it a shot. If I did the military, I could do engineering. Let's just give it a shot. So, and it worked out really well. And I love my job and I love what I do. And I actually enjoyed college as hard and as time consuming as a lot of my classes were. I really did enjoy going through all of that. So very happy with the engineering decision for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So, like, what skills are important for an engineer, and what qualities are useful in the world of engineering?
Yeah, I think a lot of from what I've seen from people that I know that are engineers as well is it's a lot of like logistic black and white that we kind of see as far as our job goes. It's very you focus on kind of the facts because you can't have something that this looks great but it might not work. You can't base your decisions off of that, otherwise you're going to be you can't have a building that fails. So it's a lot of I think communication is important for us as well, and coordination and being able to work as a team, because you're not going to be doing it yourself. You're going to be coordinating with your electrical, your mechanical, your plumbing, all of those civil and everything. You kind of have to coordinate that whole building together for it to fit together the way it should. So a lot of coordination as well. Technical skills that come in there, as far as looking at drawings, knowing how to lay them out, knowing how they work, is kind of a big thing too. And then as far as engineering schooling goes, we did a lot of calc. It was a lot of calc and physics. So those are kind of, if those are, things that kids are interested in, it's probably a good option for them to look into engineering because you do a lot of that as well. So.
That's good to know, because you're mentioning some of the classes that we offer here at the high school as well.
Yep.
So that's really good to know. And you mentioned Mr. Dalton earlier.
Yep.
And he's now retired. He still subs, in our school district. But Mr. Farringer now teaches those courses. So so it sounds like you would recommend students take some of those Farringer
Yes.
courses on industrial tech, as well as some of the physics, and maybe work your way into calc down the road as well with math. Is that pretty fair
Absolutely.
to say?
Yep. Especially if you're looking at engineering, I think that course with Revit really does help because you're going to be looking at plans all day, in school and in your career. So it is helpful to know how that's created. So that's kind of what Revit does as well. And I used Revit in one of my senior courses. We actually had to design a whole building.
Oh, wow.
That was our project for the semester. So I was the architect. So I actually had to create the whole building in Revit myself. So it was definitely beneficial to have that class prior because while it was years later, I still did pick up some of the stuff that I learned from that course. So for sure that. And calc, I did take Borchfeller's, what was that, Calc 1, that was a WIT credit, I think, so that actually came into my fin eds.
Yeah.
So,
Good memory.
So I think I took an English class in high school as well that counted towards my college credits as well. So
that would have been
I
the
would
college
recommend that for sure.
Yeah, that would have been the college English courses. Yeah, which we still offer. The calc and the college English, and that's good. So it's nice for students to kind of have a path there while they're still in high school, what to take. And obviously, we're not college here, so some of those other courses and things that they'll get down the road will be important in college. And did you do like an internship somewhere along the line?
So I did 3 internships. I did one down in Texas, in Houston, Texas. That one was a little weird because it was during COVID. So it wasn't, I was only down there for about 7 weeks, not the whole summer like normal. But I did do some pre-con work, which is pre-construction, so it's the bidding phase. Getting bids and things like that from subcontractors and creating our bid to the owner, essentially. So I did a lot of that during that internship. My second internship was with GE Johnson out in Colorado. I was in Denver and worked on a couple schools while I was out there for that one. And then I came back with GE Johnson the next summer in Colorado Springs, and I did, it was in addition to the Humane Society that was downtown there, and then a renovation of an office building that was actually being turned into a children's hospital. So that was the 2 internships that I did while I was in school.
Great.
So.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Yeah, because that's really important. Internships and job shadowing, things like that. So, So, kind of as we wrap up here, Mattea, the last question I've got for you is, if students are thinking about a career in engineering, and it could be a number of different fields in engineering. I mean, there's a lot out there. So if they're thinking about a career in engineering, what advice would you offer to students who are thinking about something in engineering?
I would say be confident. Be confident in your skills and your abilities. That's a big part of it. And obviously that confidence will come with experience. Take advantage of those calc physics classes while you're in high school, and take advantage of anything teamwork related. So if you can get into student council or join groups that you're constantly coordinating, communicating with other people to get something done, I think that would be my biggest piece of advice. That was very helpful for me going into the military as well, just the teamwork aspect of it. So that would be probably my biggest thing, is just kind of focus on those classes that you think, reach out to colleges and see what classes am I going to have to take for engineering, or reach out to, like I would know, or anyone that has gone through engineering school. Just kind of see what they're taking and try to mend your schedule to that in high school, just to kind of give you that benefit and more confidence with those classes as well. So.
You bet. Yeah, thanks for the insights there. That's good stuff. So, all right. Well, Mattea, thank you for your time. We know you're very busy, so we appreciate you taking some time in your schedule to fit us in for an interview for Bulldogs in the Workforce this week. So we're very grateful for that. And, keep doing big things down there in Grimes. And, again, with your service in the military and what you're doing now, you've done some amazing things already, in your career and in your life. So that's really cool. So it's good to see graduates out there making an impact and doing big things. So keep it up. But we appreciate your time today.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you again, Mattea.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
You bet.
Appreciate
it. Right, yeah. So that was Mattea Ketelsen, class of 2014 from Lamar's Community High School, talking about her career, and we appreciate her time. And we'll be back again next week with another Bulldogs in the Workforce.